not enough that you get a quality building. They pledge you'll experience quality every step of the way. Consolidated Construction. OneCallToBuild.com.
At Black Hills Federal Credit Union, we are committed to improving the lives of our members and bettering our communities. As your community credit union, we're here to get to know you and your unique needs. From extended service hours to the newest technology, we have you covered. Stop by any location to get started or text or call 605-718-1818. BHFCU is member-owned, not-for-profit, and federally insured by the NCUA.
Hey Rush fans, it's Rob at the Firehouse Skybox. We are your official home for Rapid City Rush hockey. When the Rush are playing on the road, join other Rush fans at the Skybox and enjoy some great food and cheer on your Rush. We show every Rush away game and we'll have Rush-themed giveaways every road trip. You'll get a chance to win great Rush prizes with the purchase of a drink or food item. The Skybox has the best food and the best Rush game day experience. Go Rush!
Hi, this is David Brenneman with Coldwell Banker Black Hills Legacy in Rapid City. Have you thought about buying a home or real estate in the Black Hills? Maybe you want to upgrade to your forever home? I have been helping people in the Black Hills find the right home for nearly 20 years. When it comes to buying or selling, experience matters. Let me do the work and you can open the door to your new home. Say hello to a good buy with me, David Brenneman. To get started, just Google David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
And here's what you need to know.
Penn State defensive end Abdul Carter's medical recheck in Indianapolis today showed that the stress reaction in his foot is healing. There's been improvement and no surgery will be needed. This is according to his agent. Round 1 at the Masters continues. Justin Rose is in the lead at 7 under par overall. He is done for the day. Corey Connors, Scotty Scheffler, and Rory McIlroy are all 3 shots back. Connors and Scheffler are done for the day as well. McIlroy is through 14 holes. In Major League Baseball, the Blue Jays just tied the game against the Red Sox. It's 1-1, top of the 7th inning in Boston. The Angels crushed 6 homers, 2 from Mike Trout, 2 from Taylor Ward, 2 from Joe Adell in the same inning as they defeated the Rays 11-1. The Guardians completed a 3-game sweep of the White Sox, coming out on top 6-1, while the Royals edged the Twins 3-2, and the Rockies outscored the Brewers 7-2. I'm Monty Bolaños.
It's time for South Dakota's Sports Talk Show. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, great interviews, and thought-provoking sports talk. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, good Thursday afternoon. Welcome in. The Nate Brown Show is on Fox Sports Radio. Here we go. It's always a great day in South Dakota. South Dakota Sports Talk Show is live across the state. Appreciate you being here. Some great guests tonight. It is Thursday. That means we'll have a little bit of fun with our friend Rob Kagron. He is our guest host in the second hour tonight. Thursday happy hour coming up with Rob Kagron. He is on the way. Second hour will be fun. First hour, we're just packed, so let's get going. South Dakota Sports Talk Show is here on Fox Sports Radio. Also, catch us on Twitter right now, at Nate Brown Show. At Nate Brown Show on Twitter. Follow the show. Watch us live. Welcome in if you're watching live or on the replay. See, there's a replay of the show. I'm talking to you, too. So follow us on Twitter, at Nate Brown Show, and one more place, YouTube, The Nate Brown Show on YouTube. So we're set and ready. Let's look at the guest lineup tonight. John Stiegelmeier's going to drop in. How about the coach? South Dakota Sports Hall of Famer now. So the new Hall of Fame class just announced. Coach Stig, well-deserved. We know that. He's going to make that. And I want to talk to him about this honor and more. FCS and the spring games coming up in Brookings this weekend. So John Stiegelmeier on South Dakota Sports Hall of Fame induction coming up. We'll talk to Coach Stig. Scott Pianowski's in, National Major League Baseball writer, Yahoo Sports. There was a game last night where the automated strike zone's not used, right? We don't do the automated strike zone. I know some of you guys want the automated strike zone. There was a missed strike in the 9th inning, and it was a bases loaded. That means a walk, and the Mariners won on a walk and a missed third strike. It came through the pitch zone, the pitch track, and it was a strike. They showed it. It was, oh no, this is why there's going to be the automated strike zone coming, right? We'll talk to Scott Pianowski about that. More Major League Baseball Yahoo Sports coming up. And our friend Craig Maddox in tonight. East River and West River get together. Craig Maddox is on SDPB Sports, longtime Sioux Falls broadcaster. Thursday happy hour on tap. Hang on. Rob Kagron's going to be in studio. We want to get you on, though. 605-720-1067 if you want to join the conversation every day on the Nate Brown Show. 605-720-1067. That's the Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline, powered by the Pizza Ranch. Stop by tonight. Best buffet, no doubt. 3809 East 10th Street there in Sioux Falls. Also there in Brandon. 2 locations in Rapid City. Home of everyone's favorite buffet. Your locally owned and operated Pizza Ranch. Call us on the hotline. And the Barron's Wilson text line is open. 605-720-1067. That's the number. So remember that. Text us on the text line. We'll read your comments as the show happens. 2 hours, thought-provoking sports talk. Let's get going. Hey, I have something here. I thought of something. I got a couple of things I want to hit, but I thought of something as I watched Jack Nicklaus. He led the Masters today. He teed off first, the opening tee shot. So Jack Nicklaus was out there, and we know Jack Nicklaus' story, right? So this just made me think, like, we have all of these debates in sports. We have the GOAT debate all the time in every sport. Football, is it Tom Brady? Basketball, is it Jordan, LeBron, whoever else you'd throw in there? Do we have it settled in golf? Is the GOAT debate settled in golf? It's just something I thought about as I watched Jack Nicklaus out there. Old guy, he's still grinding. He hit a shot, and we know the major success that he had. And I just wonder, has that debate been solved in sports? You never hear anybody debate, is it Jack Nicklaus, is it Tiger Woods? You just never hear that debate. So is it settled? Who is the best golfer ever? I don't think we have the other sports settled, by the way. I think some of you guys think, well, if you're like me, I'm going to be a Jordan guy. I will not leave the Jordan side of that. I will not leave the Jordan side of that. So I guess I'm already set. And maybe that's unfair to some people. Hey, you got to look at what LeBron's done and the career and the whole thing. I understand I can have respect for it, the game, but I'm not going to leave the Jordan side of things in that debate. So I just wonder if we've settled on that, since there's no, well, maybe Tiger's the best. Is it Tiger's the best for sure? That's interesting to me, because we always measure Tom Brady. If you say he's the greatest, is Tom Brady the greatest of all time? I kind of put him in that category because of all of the titles. That's where I put Tom Brady in that category, because of all of the titles. But yet we don't put Jack Nicklaus for sure in that category as the greatest golfer of all time, yet he has the most major titles. 18 major championships. It's not going to be caught. It's over. Tiger, I said, wasn't going to catch it a long time ago when I was hosting a show on Billings, Montana. I said, I just have this. I don't think Tiger's going to catch him. And then things went south and injuries and all of that stuff. But we look at it, and I thought, Jack Nicklaus, does he get the appropriate respect? Does he get the appropriate respect in sports? I feel like most people are going to say Tiger Woods is the greatest of all time. No argument. Yet he has 18 major championships, does Jack. He has the most top 5 major finishes. So when the big tournaments happened, Jack Nicklaus was the man. He was the man. I can't tell you I watched Jack Nicklaus all the time. I can't tell you that. That wasn't my era. I saw late Jack Nicklaus. Late. My era is the Tiger Woods generation. That's many of you as well. And I think people say, well, you just look at pure golfer and the things he did, and he won majors, but then he has the number as well for most tournament wins. So that's where Tiger's at. 82 PGA Tour wins. That's tied for most all time with Sam Snead. So Tiger has the tournament wins. He has 15 majors. That's close, but he's still second to Jack Nicklaus. But my take is, as I saw Jack tee off today, I bet in the world of golf, if I ask that, who's the best golfer ever, what percentage of people are going to say Tiger Woods? I think it's going to be a huge number. I think that's going to be a huge number. And I wonder, I still think, is there a debate there, or has that been settled? It feels like it's settled, that many people say it's Tiger, end of story. And I wonder if Jack gets hosed a little bit on that discussion, because you just look at the numbers. We all know the magic number, 18 majors. Tiger's 15. Jack still won a lot of tournaments, by the way. He had 73 PGA Tour wins. Tiger has 82. So Jack's right there, but I'm guessing you would say the best golfer ever as Masters starts today is Tiger Woods. Is that correct? You tell me. 605-720-1067. Barron's Wilson text line if you can. I'd like to take some votes. My thought is a huge percentage of you are going to say Tiger Woods, and that's fine, but let me know why. I understand Tiger's won a ton. The majors he's behind, and Tiger's going to own that best golfer ever title, I think. But maybe I'll be surprised. Let's throw it out on Twitter. Who's the best golfer ever? Follow the show at Nate Brown Show. You can vote in our question of the day as well on Twitter. React to the show on Twitter as well, at Nate Brown Show. Who's the best golfer ever, Tiger Woods or Jack Nicklaus? And that's what it comes down to. It is those two. I still believe it is LeBron and Jordan. I still think that has to be the argument, right? We got listener text coming in. What about Wilt Chamberlain? I got another vote. I got another Wilt vote here. So maybe it's not settled. I think Jack Nicklaus is the best. Majors is what counts. Majors is what counts. Think about that. 18 major championships. He won the Masters 6 times. Jack Nicklaus won the Masters 6 times. Rory McIlroy can't win it once. And I mean, he's a great golfer. He can't win it once. Now, does the Tiger thing come into play, that Tiger advanced the game so much more and made it mainstream? Does that take him to the next level? I think you have to value that. But it still doesn't say who the best golfer ever. Can you for sure say it's Tiger? I'm just trying to tell you, old school wise, Jack Nicklaus has got to be in there with that many major titles, 6 Masters championships. But did Tiger advance the game of golf like we've never seen? Totally. So it's like the Caitlin Clark effect. She's changed an entire sport and an entire view of that sport. Even women's athletics. That's Caitlin Clark has changed that and elevated it. So Tiger Woods took golf from, I watch, golf isn't on much, just the majors, and Tiger took it mainstream. Everybody started playing golf. The brand started expanding. The money started exploding. And that's where Tiger took golf to the next level. So that may put him in another stratosphere. I understand that side of it. Who's the best golfer ever? What's your vote? Twitter poll says 69% of you, Tiger Woods. 31% of you, Jack Nicklaus. From a golf standpoint, 31% of you say it's Jack Nicklaus. So he's getting a pretty low number. But is that surprising? At least my Twitter poll right off the bat, about 69% of you say it's Tiger Woods. I thought it would be like 80-20, frankly. So Jack's getting a little bit of love there. Masters got started today. Who do you have? How's it look? Scotty Scheffler, not bad today. Justin Rose, pretty good today. Let's see how the Masters rolls. Jack Nicklaus was there, kicked off the tournament, and I think Jack doesn't quite get in the same category as Tiger, and I think we should think of him as a player very, very in that category, very much in that category. Okay, let me get to something I've been thinking about with college sports. So today, I should say yesterday, the college commissioners were on Capitol Hill. Did you see this? Big 12, SEC, Big 10, all of the commissioners of the big conferences, they were on Capitol Hill. It was College Sports Day on the Hill. It sounds so nice. They probably ate some great lunch and just had a great time. Why would the commissioners be on Capitol Hill? College Sports Day on the Hill. So fun. Photo opportunities. Everybody have a great time. They're trying to figure out how can they get the Congress to have national standards on college sports so they're off the hook from lawsuits. So they're really trying to get Congress to say, we got to have a bill here as we put this out. Brett Yormark, he's the Big 12 commissioner. You know, Brett, he said this transfer portal and current volume of player movement is unsustainable. Oh, okay, why don't you guys change it? Because they're afraid of getting sued. So they want Congress to step in and say, here's the national standards. Here are the national rules. And I understand. I think we need uniformity. I think we need consistency. So I understand it, but it's interesting that all of these guys want somebody else to do something. They want somebody because NCAA getting sued, they're scared. They messed this whole thing up. Now the conference commissioners, they know, hey, we want some player movement, NIL, and you know, we just need to be told, here's how this is going to work, and we want to make sure we do it the way we want, though, through Congress, and good luck. He said he cautioned lawmakers should step up sooner than later to calm the chaos. This is Yormark of the Big 12. He said they need to create national standards. Everyone knows there's a sense of urgency. We have to move quickly and swiftly. And he's telling this to Congress. Keep that in mind. So this got me thinking about, where is South Dakota State and USD in this whole picture? This got me thinking about NIL, the investment that should be made or should not be made by SDSU and USD. The big boys is one thing. The FCS folks weren't up on Capitol Hill lobbying like the big dogs yesterday. They're just sitting back wondering, well, we're not going to opt into this House settlement. We're not going to play that game. So what are they going to tell us what to do? We're going to have to help pay for this House settlement, which is just wild. The FCS programs like the Jacks and the Yotes are going to have to pay for this House settlement. They get no benefit, but they're going to opt out, and they're going to sit back and say, where is college sports going? They need Congress to act quickly. Well, good luck with that. And what I'm telling you is, in the meantime, what do you do if you're South Dakota State and USD when it comes to NIL, efforts in fundraising, efforts in donor relations? Do you invest in ramping up paying players at this level? That's a question that came across my mind today because I see North Dakota State football just lost a linebacker today. He's going to be a starter next year, and North Dakota State just lost a linebacker. Looks like he made the trip to the White House yesterday and enjoyed that and then entered the portal today, but that's a starter. And so I bring this up. Why? Are those guys going to leave anyway? North Dakota State's got NIL going. SDSU just launched NIL. You can go to SDSU's NIL partner, and you can see, hey, you can do partnerships with Chase Mason and all of these players, football, basketball, whoever. You can do that type of stuff. That's one thing if you set up an NIL situation for the players where it's truly NIL, partnerships and advertising and promotions. But do you actually invest in NIL to stockpile some money to try and pay players at this level so they don't leave for the big dogs, so they don't enter the transfer portal like the NDSU linebacker today? And my answer is, I'm not so sure it's going to matter that much in the long run. So how much time and effort do you put in if you're Justin Sell, and who's done a great job raising funds and facilities and all of this stuff. How much time do you put in if you're John Schimmel at USD taking over for David Herbster and trying to get USD ramped up? They got a nice new basketball facility they've enjoyed. But how much do you take donors and say, we got to try and go into NIL here a little bit. We got to make sure we can try and pay some players, otherwise they're going to leave. My thought is I'm worried that they're going to leave anyway. I don't think you're going to talk Mark Gronowski into staying another year just because you have whatever amount you have. You're not going to be able to play that game. The game is totally different. Yet I hear people say, well, you got to get in it. And I understand. I've said, do you have to get in the game anyway? You can't just give up. But on that front, do you invest time and effort and donor money into other things and get ready for the change in college sports and see where the things fall, see where the pieces fall? Do you really invest right now in NIL? That's what I'm asking Jackrabbit and Yote fans today. 605-720-1067 on the Nate Brown Show. If you want to answer the question of the day, is it worth the time and effort to seek out donor support to ramp up NIL to pay players at SDSU and USD? This is what do you really want to do? What's really important right now to have successful athletic programs? SDSU has had success, and they haven't had to do much with the NIL. Would you start looking at more and using more resources to get a collective that actually doesn't just do NIL deals, but actually offers dollars to players? That's what all these schools are doing. I'm not so sure it's the right play where SDSU and USD are at, because the best of the best, I don't think will stay. The Tucker Crafts, I don't think you're going to have very many of those. I don't think you're going to have very many of those. Do you believe it's worth the time and effort to seek out donor money and ramp up NIL if you're at SDSU and USD? You tell me. Yes, pay the players. Got to get money to do it, or they'll transfer anyway. 605-720-1067. We'll go to Craig Maddock, get his thoughts as we kick off the show with Craig Maddock live next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Spring is here and Splash City is blooming with savings. It's their spring kickoff sale. Your backyard retreat is calling. Imagine relaxing, soaking away the day in a brand new Sundance or jacuzzi spa from Splash City. During the spring kickoff sale, get 0% financing for 60 months or save up to $5,000 in instant rebates. Plus a free smart tub monitoring system upgrade, a $999 value. Splash City is your #1 water and entertainment specialist. Visit Splash City in Sioux Falls, Rapid City, or Sioux City today. Rest, relax, enjoy.
Hey, Sioux Falls sports fans, there's a great new sports bar in Sioux Falls, Boston's Restaurant and Sports Bar on West Russell Street in the Ramada Water Park Hotel. If you want to watch games, UFC, they've got it, wall-to-wall TVs, and the best part, great food. Gourmet pizza at Boston's, tons of wing options, great burgers, and a lot more. Bring the family, bring the team, bring your crew to the new Boston's Restaurant and Sports Bar in Sioux Falls on West Russell Street. Plus, you can order online for lunch or dinner. Just go to bostons.com.
Ready to be part of something big? Meet the Rapid City Sports Commission, the powerhouse behind sports in Rapid City. The commission focuses on bringing regional and national tournaments, supporting homegrown events, and creating opportunities for our kids. But it's not just games, it's a win-win for all of us. Youth sports fuel our economy. Hosting events in Rapid City means out-of-town families shop, dine, and stay with us, which boosts sales tax revenues too. To get in on the action, visit rcsportscommission.com, where we're all about the hustle.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Lows dip down to about 40 tonight under partly cloudy skies. Winds out of the west 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mainly clear skies tomorrow. Highs level off around 79. 52 tomorrow night, partly cloudy. Partly cloudy skies Saturday with daytime highs approaching 73. 55, slight chance of rain Sunday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, It's 62 degrees.
Monument Health.
Get away from it all in the great outdoors for lasting family memories with a new or pre-owned RV from Dakota Discount RV. We make your RV experience fun and easy by providing you with a quality recreational vehicle, competitive pricing, and professional sales and service. Our large inventory of fifth wheelers, travel trailers, toy haulers, and lithium batteries allows us to save our customers thousands of dollars compared to most dealers. Stop by and see us at Dakota Discount RV, 3340 Small Drive across from Kelly's and on JB Road, Blackhawk.
Okay, ma'am, just a few rules to follow for your new windows and doors.
Okay.
No washing.
For how long?
Forever. No shades, no furniture within 4 feet of the window.
How am I going to do that?
Yeah, I'd stack your furniture in the center of the room, and after the first rain, stay away from the window.
You're freaking me out.
There's no need to be freaked out about installing new doors or windows. Renewal by Anderson has installed over 100,000 windows and doors.
Oh, and don't lean on the window. We wouldn't want you falling out.
I can't lean against the window?
No, you can lean, just don't put any weight on it.
The guy who sold me the windows didn't tell me that.
Oh, no, I'm just a subcontractor for the contractor.
Renewal by Anderson has master craftsmen who follow your job from start to finish.
Oh, and the picture window in the back room, it was an odd size, so we made it a little smaller.
How much smaller?
Yeah, about 5 feet smaller.
Yeah, well, now it's not a picture window.
Well, sure it is, if you hang a picture on it.
Brilliant.
Yep, that's why you pay us the big bucks. By the way, I only take cash.
Make the best decision for your home with exclusive custom-fit Acclaim windows and ensemble doors. Only from Renewal by Anderson. Learn more at RBARapidCity.com.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports talk show.
Welcome back in. The Nate Brown Show is on Fox Sports Radio, South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Glad you're here. Thursday edition of the program means it's happy hour coming up in the second hour. Hang on, our guest host every Thursday, Rob Kegron. Guest host Rob Kegron tonight. Thursday happy hour, always great. Craig Maddox going to get us started tonight. SDPB Sports. His podcast is called In Play. Download it where you get your podcasts. In Play. Live from Sioux Falls. Craig, good to have you on. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. Thursday today kind of feels like I should be coming to Rapid City for some event. I've done that a lot here this season.
Got a little breather now. A little breather. I want to get your thoughts on something that I started my show with. So I've been thinking about this. College sports is going through these changes, and a lot of the college sports leaders were lobbying Congress yesterday. They said, we got to have national standards from Congress about NIL, about transfer portal. We got to have national standards so we don't get sued. And then I've started thinking, where does SDSU and USD land here? If you're at SDSU and USD, NIL dollars, this is just more money you have to try and raise. I know you can do NIL deals with the kids, but I'm talking substantial dollars that teams pay kids. Now, do you think you even go down that road? I mean, SDSU started an NIL collective. Is it even going to be worth the time, energy, donor support at this level?
They have to do something to stay competitive because kids today, they'll ask SDSU, okay, what kind of NIL money are you offering? And then they'll find out what USD is doing, or they'll ask Southern Illinois, or they'll ask this and that. And so you got to be competitive. You got to be halfway competitive. The schools have to raise more money, which gives them a tougher time to worry about that. But if an athlete, such as at SDSU this last season in basketball, if there's a really good player, they're going to get priced out of the NIL because they can't offer what some of the bigger schools offer. And when it comes to regulation, I don't want the government regulating anything. I think it should be more the NCAA and the schools themselves that regulate themselves when it comes to NIL. I don't know if I want the government working on it.
Regulate themselves? How's that working out right now?
Well, I don't want the government involved, and unfortunately what I foresee is the NCAA, somewhere down the road, may not have a lot of power because of the much bigger schools will just say, we don't need you anymore, NCAA, we'll do our own thing. Would not surprise that would happen.
Okay, so you say you have to invest, you have to try and get NIL dollars. That's just what you have to do, even though I still believe players will transfer anyway because the Jackson Yotes can't offer big dollars.
No, they can't compete with the bigger ones. I mean, where are these guys going? They're going to, Iowa State and Iowa. They're not going to Minnesota. You wonder what's happening there. But for the most part, yeah, the SDSU and USD, they can't compete with the bigger mid majors in this country.
Craig Maddock on tonight, SDPB Sports, longtime broadcaster, live from Sioux Falls. Let's get into some high school stuff I want your read on. So the ADs met, and they went over a lot of stuff. Now, here's one thing I heard out of that meeting with the ADs in Chamberlain. High school baseball, they had a subcommittee look at it. Are we gonna do it? It sounds like there's budget concerns with some schools, but they are going to put out a survey potentially for 2026 to gauge interest. Do you think that's wise? Sending out the survey, seeing, are we going to keep this ball rolling to sanction baseball?
Well, it would seem to me that the ADs already know where everybody else is standing right now, and basically saying, "Oh, let's do a survey." That's just kicking the can down the road. If there's issues with money, and I think there is with a number of school districts, that they can't afford to add baseball with all the expenses. You got to pay the salaries and the travel and all that other stuff. I think it is a major problem for them. But I think it all comes down to Legion Baseball. If Legion Baseball out of the way, maybe in the months of May and June, and you let high school baseball handle that, more schools might get involved. But sometimes they're getting blocked by the Legion programs where, even in April, they're not allowed to play high school ball. They're already playing Legion ball. So we'll see. I think it's kicking the can down the road. They could easily take a vote right now, and I think they know exactly where it stands. Baseball wouldn't pass.
Okay, Matt Kearney, the extraordinary producer of the Nate Brown Show, reported on this story out of Cologne. It's a small school district, 138 students. They are foregoing varsity basketball, girls and boys, for this next year. What can you do with small schools like that?
You have to consolidate, and I think there should be a lot more schools that do consolidate, because consolidation would help smaller schools if they do combine with others. Some just don't want to do it because they don't want to give up their name of the town. The school is so important to them that they would rather maybe drop programs than maybe consolidate. I think a lot of these schools should be consolidating. If you only have 50 kids in your whole high school, it would seem money-wise you'd be a lot better to be consolidating with another school to share not only athletics but also academics.
Okay, I look at it and say, they've tried it before. Cologne's tried it. Here's the problem. Some of the schools around there don't want a co-op. That would bump Winter up to another level of football. That would bump Gregory up to another level of football. Can the Activities Association step in on any of this? That seems maybe a little too far.
Yeah, I think you're right. It would be a little bit too far. It has to come from the home, has to come from the folks, in Winter. I mean, there's been a lot of schools over the years that will do their best to try to not have to move up in athletics. And I just kind of shake my head and go, you guys, you're sacrificing this for maybe the betterment of others. Not much I can say. It's just that, I feel bad for some of the kids because the grown-ups are saying, no, we don't want to go on to the next level.
Cologne School District, their AD is resigning. Their basketball coach on the boys and girls, they're both resigning. And then they're not going to play varsity basketball this next year. So Cologne, that's been a proud athletic tradition there in quite a few sports over the years.
Right.
Having a tough time. Craig Maddock's on tonight. Speaking of having a tough time, so Rapid City Stevens has hired a new football coach. hasn't coached at the high school level. He's been in Rapid City a while now. He's a former college football player, coached at the youth level. Willie Stevens, the new head coach at Stevens for football. How do you turn around a struggling football program? What is the barrier you have to get over, Craig Maddock? What's your answers?
Well, I wish all the best for Willie. I really do. He knows what he needs to do, and what you got to do, you got to sell the program. Willie almost has to go to every kid and say, "Come on, I want you to come out and play football. We'll have a great time." He has to sell it. And you know what? And when there is success, other kids are going to join in. But unfortunately, you're at a certain level for a period of time. It's a little tougher, may take a little longer to sell the program. But Willie, he's going to have to be right there with every kid and talk with them personally and tell them what he's going to do and how much fun they're going to have playing football.
Okay, it's one of those things. Stevens.
Does that work?
Well,
did I help sell it a little bit? Or?
You tried. Okay, I understand. Stevens has athletes. That's what's interesting. There are athletes at Stevens. They've had success in quite a few sports. The football program can get to another level. I believe that, but I believe it's a kind of negativity around the program. When that negativity is built over the years, how do you work against that? I mean, I think negative mindset, because Willie told me we got to have positivity here from the players to the parents to the community. The negative mindset, I think, is a killer.
Yep, I totally agree, and it's something that Central has to work on too.
Yeah. By the way, let me ask you a golf question. Are you a golfer?
Oh.
Are you a golfer, Craig Maddock?
You know what? I can, even after my back surgery last October, when I was visiting another part of the planet in January and February, I was able to stick it pretty good.
Oh.
It felt pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you support a shot clock in golf to speed up the pace of play? Are you a slow player when I get behind you?
I am not a slow player. I'll take 2 practice swings and then get up there and rip it wide right.
You want a shot clock on the PGA Tour like in the Masters today? Would you add one?
Yes, I would.
You would?
How much it would be, I don't know. But if you can't get off in 45 seconds, there's something wrong. Right?
Okay. I said 45 seconds yesterday. I said once you get up to the ball and you kind of assess things, you can't sit around forever. You can't talk with your caddy forever. You get up to the ball, you assess it, you get the distance, you get the club, you hit it. That's it.
Especially if you're the second person to hit. I mean, if someone is already doing their hitting, you should be lining up and looking and deciding what you're going to do. But some of these guys, my goodness, these guys should just... They take forever. I mean, you'll shave twice before they hit their shot.
Okay, last question for Craig Maddock then. Is it settled who the greatest golfer is, Jack Nicklaus or Tiger Woods? Is that a debate at all?
Oh, boy.
Sounds like it's a debate for you.
Well, Tiger did not break Jack's record for PGA titles.
Right, majors,
so if you're looking at PGA titles, Jack wins. But if you're looking at someone who absolutely changed the game, you got to go to Tiger.
Oh, boy. Are you really going to do that? You're going to be that politically correct here today. You're going to go on both sides. You take the both sides. All right, Craig Maddock is on. Podcast in play. Do you still have some rolling out?
Yeah, we have a number of them coming out. In fact, coming up most likely next week, it's going to be an athlete who quarterbacked some state championships, was in some basketball championships, but decided to play baseball instead and made the majors. So we'll hear his story coming up in about the next week.
All right, Craig Maddock on tonight. Get the podcast. It's In Play with Craig Maddock, SDPB Sports. Craig, enjoy the week, man. Thanks a lot.
Hey, thanks. I appreciate the time, Nate.
Appreciate your time. Craig Maddock on tonight on Fox Sports Radio, South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Craig Maddock is in tonight. So he really did that. I usually get something from Craig there, and he said, Jack Nicklaus has the majors titles. Tiger changed the game of golf. Who is the greatest golfer ever? I thought the debate is pretty much settled. I think most of the people would say Tiger Woods, and I think that's because a lot of the old school guys, they might say Jack Nicklaus, but not a lot of people that have watched golf lately sat down and watched Jack Nicklaus all the time. So that's why I think you're going to go Tiger. And I do get it changing the whole dynamic around golf and the popularity and the coverage and the money and the sponsorships, the whole thing. Who's the best golfer ever? Tiger Woods or Jack Nicklaus? Your vote's coming in. 605-720-1067. Text us on the text line. 69% of the people on Twitter say Tiger. 31% Jack Nicklaus. Let's go baseball. Scott Pianowski, National Major League Baseball writer, Yahoo Sports. We're a couple of weeks in. How do things look? And did an automatic strike zone, would that have helped last night a team that lost? We'll discuss next.
This is the Nate Brown.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Military, first responders, teachers, Renewal by Andersen is offering a heartfelt thank you with its first ever appreciation sale. 20% off every window and door, no money down, no interest, and no payments for 18 months. Plus an additional 9% off if purchased on the initial consultation. That's 29% off. Military, first responders, teachers, this is a limited time offer, so do not wait. Please book your free estimate right now at RBARapidCity.com.
Has been the region's premier window, siding, door, and gutter installation specialist since 1974. They use only the highest quality materials and never compromise on their workmanship. Collins Siding is licensed, bonded, and their estimates always include labor, materials, and applicable permits and taxes. Collins Siding has been providing top quality service and exceeding high standards for over 45 years, and you can find out how by visiting them at 2016 Cherry Avenue. Collins Siding, 2016 Cherry Avenue, Rapid City.
Driving around the Black Hills looking for a quick and easy stop to fix your cravings? Why not try Black Hills Coffee Cabin? Black Hills Coffee Cabin is the gateway to Hill City, serving the best specialty drinks in the Black Hills, like Dark Canyon Coffee branded espresso, as well as offering house-made pastries and breakfast burritos. We also have a variety of non-coffee drinks, including smoothies. Open Tuesday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. Conveniently located at 23828 Highway 385 as you enter the heart of the Black Hills. That's Black Hills Coffee Cabin in Hill City.
Whether you're a pro or a Joe, a weekend warrior or a gardening great, Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is here when you need us. Nobody plans an injury, but when people throughout the Black Hills and beyond suffer a setback, Monument Health Orthopedics is here to provide comprehensive medical care. Our team of board-certified orthopedic surgeons and specialists is dedicated to helping patients regain the quality of life they've lost due to an injury, arthritis, or joint wear and tear. Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine for everyday athletes like you.
Heritage Home Lending in Rapid City is a proud supporter of high school sports. Heritage Home Lending is your locally owned mortgage brokerage, specializing in VA home loans. At Heritage Home Lending, you get to work with local people, offering competitive financing for purchasing and refinancing. Heritage Home Lending is committed to helping our service members and veterans with specific expertise in VA home loans. For all your home loan needs, work with a local company that you can trust. Get started at heritagehomelending.sd.com.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show, also streaming right now on X. Follow us and watch the show live at Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in. The Nate Brown Show is on. Glad you're here tonight. John Stiegelmeier's coming up. Former head coach, South Dakota State football. He's getting inducted into the South Dakota Sports Hall of Fame. You know that. That was just announced, so we got Coach Stig tonight talking about his career, where things are at now with the Jacks program. It's the spring game for the Jacks is this weekend under new head coach Dan Jackson. John Stiegelmeier's coming up from Brookings. That's what's on tap tonight. What's on tap on the Nate Brown Show, brought to you by the new Campfire Bar. It's inside Mr. Liquor off Catron Boulevard, Rapid City. Mr. Liquor's the newest and biggest liquor store in South Dakota. Campfire Bar inside with 20 local brews on tap. Watch your game at the Campfire Bar and get into Mr. Liquor 2 off Catron Boulevard. Scott Pianowski's on tonight, Major League Baseball, Yahoo Sports. Scott, good to have you back. How are you?
I'm doing great, and shout out to your producers. You playing the best bumper music. You Wrecked Me by Tom Petty, one of my favorite tracks off that Watershed album, Wildflowers. There's not a bad song on it, but I just want to give props to those guys. They're always putting me in a good mood when I talk to you.
Big time, big time. I know that. Okay, let me ask you here. I'm going to get into some baseball topics. I want your read. I had a segment on Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and I said, I think any 14-year deal is bad. $500 million. I said, I just don't know why you have to do 14 years. And you can show me the numbers, and it's not going to be loaded up on the backside when he's 40 years old. But why did the Blue Jays have to go 14 years? Is this a problem in baseball?
Yeah, I mean, I joked on social media that the only thing worse than losing Vladimir Guerrero forever was signing Vladimir Guerrero forever. And we have seen this is a player with no defensive value, plays first base, may eventually be a DH. And think of guys who are even a tier above him, right? Albert Pujols, walk-in Hall of Famer. Miguel Cabrera, walk-in Hall of Famer. Think of the deal that Ryan Howard signed in the middle of his contract where he had won at least one MVP. He might have won a second one. And these are players that have all produced more than Guerrero. My friend Joe Sheehan predicted the over-under of playoff games during this contract would be like 13 or something like that. They're still not primary contenders in the American League East. They just felt like they had to do something. What they should have done, what teams really want to do if they can, is look at what the Red Sox did with Christian Campbell. Look at what the Padres did with Jackson Merrill. Sign these guys when they're young. When you're buying out their arbitration years, you're buying out maybe the first wisp of free agency when they're in their early to mid-20s. Toronto had a chance to sign Guerrero a few years ago. That was the right play. I think they felt like it was a Sophie's choice. It was horrible to lose him, but I don't want to make a 14-year commitment to anything, Nate. So, yeah, they're going to have to – the front half of the contract is going to have to be where they make their money and where they make their playoff runs, because this contract is going to look bad in the second half.
Yeah, look at it. The Blue Jays are like, I mean, do you get forced into this because where baseball is at, meaning people talk about a salary cap, is this the reason people want that?
I'm really afraid that in a couple of years, and this may have been why Merrill and Campbell and some of these younger players, Garrett Crochet was another one, why they've signed these deals, is I think we might be heading towards the work stoppage in a couple of years. There may be a lockout where the owners have to help themselves from themselves, save themselves from themselves. It's not healthy to have a pay structure where there's no middle class, where it's like all these superstars make unlimited money we can't relate to, and then everybody else is on minimum contracts, and you squeeze out the middle class. I don't think it's a good look for baseball. I don't think it's a good long-term plan for baseball, and I hate to say this, I really think we're going to have an incomplete season in maybe 2027, 2028.
Will the owners be willing to stop a revenue for a year? Now, I know some owners are different. Some owners just use this as a piggy bank, I think. They have real estate, right. They have all this stuff. Will a majority of owners be willing to not have revenue in a season?
It's a great question. I mean, the joke about the owners is you couldn't get 30 owners in baseball to agree on what toppings on a pizza. And you got to understand, some of these guys are coming from different points of view. The Dodgers don't care what they spent. Steve Cohen, he's a baseball fan. He doesn't care what the Mets contract, what their payroll is. And yet there are some teams, the Pirates come to mind, where it's like, okay, let's put a decent team on the field, but we're going to pocket that revenue-sharing money. We're going to make a profit. whether we win 75 games, 80 games, or 84 games. Yes, they have Skeens, who's very exciting. O'Neal Cruz is an up-and-coming player, but they haven't done a lot to support those guys. There are some of these teams, some of these owners are making money no matter if they're competing or not. So you really need more people on the same page. The thing that really is frustrating is that the commissioner is basically works at the leisure of the owners, and we really need an independent person who has the player interest and the owner interest equally balanced. Now, maybe I'm being Pollyanna here. Maybe that's never going to happen, but I think the next 3 or 4 years are going to determine a lot of things, because I think baseball is coming close to a tipping point.
Scott Pianowski on tonight, Major League Baseball, yahoosports.com here on the Nate Brown Show. So the Tigers had success against the Yankees, but the Yankees have had the best offense. We're only a couple of weeks in. Yankees' best offense, slugging, home runs, torpedo bats. Is it a thing?
Yeah, it's a thing, although some people will tell you this is not a new thing, that players were using similar bats. I still remember just playing from softball, having bats shaped in that way. It's just a matter of getting the mass, what the sweet spot is, and look, anything that gives the hitters a better chance. The pitchers are such wizards right now. The batting average keeps going down. More of the offense comes through home runs. It's nice to see something that actually favors the offense. I know they did away with the shifting, the extreme shifting. It hasn't helped batting averages as much as they had hoped. So, and if it gets a few more runs on the scoreboard, I'm in favor of it. We've also had a couple of park changes. Tampa Bay's playing in Steinbrenner Field, better for offense. This park, the Athletics are playing in Sutter Home Field. Until Wednesday, they had sailed over the under in all of their games. That's a great place to hit, so take advantage of your fantasy players when they go there. But yeah, anything that we can do to help the offense, I'm all in favor of. We've seen more players ordering the torpedo bats. It will be more of a prevalent piece of equipment by the middle of the season. If it gets a few more runs on the field, I'm in favor of it, sure.
Okay, let me ask you about a thing last night. I don't know if you saw this. Astros-Mariners. Mariners come back in a big way late there in Seattle. They get a walk-off win on a bases-loaded walk, but it was a missed third strike call according to Pitch Track. So Pitch Track said it was a third strike. Umpire said it was a ball. Mariners win. So automated strike zone, that's why people want it. But is that important, Scott, or did the Astros benefit from something earlier in the game? That's how baseball plays out.
You know, I think since we've had access to grading the pitchers and all this data of who's the most accurate umpires, I think the umpiring is actually a lot better than people think it is. If they can come up with a challenge system that isn't obtrusive, I mean, think about watching the NCAA tournament. Why do we always have to have a 90-second review to figure out if there's 2.3 seconds left or 2.1 seconds left? It feels like it chokes all the drama out of the game. I don't want to lose that. I do think they're going to, obviously they've tried it in the minor leagues. They're going to test it out and everything. I wouldn't have a problem if we left the umpires alone. I think the balls and strikes are a lot better right now than people think they are.
Okay, so last night a team wins on a bad missed third strike call. I get it where people are like, hey, shouldn't we get that right? I mean, that was make or break last night.
I mean, 1985 World Series, right? Denkinger blows the call at first base, and that leads to the Royals having a crazy comeback against the Cardinals. That's probably dead if that doesn't happen. So I get it. Selective replay I'd be in favor of. I just don't want to run to a world where everything's under review. And I give the NFL credit. With these expedited reviews, and they're going to expedite review more things next year, the idea that let's get something right but not interrupt the game, that's the sweet spot, right?
Okay.
Where we're getting the fairness, but we're not choking the game. We're not stopping the game. It's just momentarily. Somebody upstairs saw something, buzz down, get it right, move on.
I'm with you on that. NL West. Dodgers aren't in first. Padres, Giants, can they keep pace like this?
Well, I'd love to see it because it means the Dodgers have to take the regular season seriously. We talked a few weeks ago, and I thought it would be a load management season for the Dodgers, so they might run away from everybody, and then they started off like they'd never lose a game. Padres, very deep team, very good offense. They go deep in the bullpen. They can run a bunch of guys at you. The Giants thing, I'm not sure how sustainable that is, but they do spend their money intelligently. A good defensive team, a good on-base percentage team, kind of a throwback, because they don't hit a lot of home runs, and their park does suppress offense. I like to see different styles. Don't you get sick of the NBA where everybody's jacking up threes and they all play the same style? I want baseball teams to have differentiation of their foundational builds, and I think we're seeing some of that in the NL West. I still think it's going to be the Dodgers, but the Padres are not afraid of them. They took them to 5 games last year. They eliminated them in a recent series a couple of years ago. The Padres are going to be a 6-month story.
Scott Pianowski tonight, Yahoo Sports, Major League Baseball. Follow him on Twitter, Scott_Pianowski on the Nate Brown Show. Scott, you're always great. Appreciate it.
It was a blast, Nate. Thanks.
Thanks a lot. Major League Baseball, yahoosports.com writer, National Major League Baseball writer, Scott Pianowski on tonight, breaking things down. All right. How much trouble are the Twins in? I was going to get there with him. Can you, you're 13 games in, 4-9. Doesn't feel great. But it's baseball, 162. Doesn't feel great. It's just like my Cubbies. They're on top of the NL Central. Playing well. I'm following them every day. It's like, man, they've had some nice series. But it's still too small of a sample size so far. But Twins at 4-9 doesn't feel great. Tigers, we had Ben Verlander on to start the year. That was his pick in the AL Central, and the Tigers are on top. What do you think about a missed call? A missed call on a third strike last night with the Astros and Mariners. Astros should have had a strikeout. Instead, the umpire called it a ball because pitch track showed it was a strike. You know how it goes. That was a strike. They called it a ball. The Mariners won. Bases loaded. Walk-off walk. That's brutal. That is brutal. Is that type of stuff going to get me to change? I don't want the automated. I haven't wanted the automated strike zone because I think it's going to be harder than you think. But then people say, hey, see how simple it is? Boom, it was pitch track strike. Umpire called it a ball, so you should be able to challenge that really quick, maybe get 2 challenges or, they tried it out in the spring training, the challenges, but it can't be unlimited. I can't have unlimited. That's what Scott's saying. It's got to be seamless here. You got to keep the game moving. You can't have unlimited challenges from the batters and pitchers if you keep getting it right. You still have to have it limited, so you wait for that moment. Bases loaded, 9th inning. Then the Astros could have challenged that ball. Hey, that was actually a strike. So I think a challenge system probably would be the way to start with the automated strike zone first. Not just everything automated, and then we have an earpiece to the umpire, and he stands there like a robot. All right. Listener text, gambling is the root cause of everything in baseball. Major League Baseball really wants to get into bed with gambling, but they need to have every call correct to do that. Boy, balls and strikes, there's a lot of them throughout the year. There is a lot of them. Okay, let's revisit our question of the day. If you haven't voted tonight, Masters started. Jack Nicklaus got it going with the tee shot today, and I thought, do people think Jack Nicklaus is in the same stratosphere as Tiger Woods? Who is the best golfer ever? We've debated basketball, football, baseball. Who's the best golfer ever? Your take, 605-720-1067. Our question of the day, Tiger or Jack? What say you next?
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share. To revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Military, first responders, teachers, Renewal by Anderson is offering a heartfelt thank you with its first ever appreciation sale. 20% off every window and door, no money down, no interest, and no payments for 18 months. Plus an additional 9% off if purchased on the initial consultation. That's 29% off. Military, first responders, teachers, this is a limited time offer, so do not wait. Please book your free estimate right now at rbarapidcity.com.
Sports Rapid City forecast. Lows dip down to about 40 tonight under partly cloudy skies. Winds out of the west 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mainly clear skies. Tomorrow, highs level off around 79. 52 tomorrow night, partly cloudy. Partly cloudy skies Saturday with daytime highs approaching 73. 55, slight chance of rain Sunday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, it's 62 degrees.
Looking for a new sport utility? Looking for one that's easy on the gas bill? We have them at Danny Mental Rapid Chevrolet. Nearly 50 to choose from, most with the exclusive Danny Mental discount, including 28 all-new 2025 Equinoxes, plus Traverse, Tahoe, Suburban, Trailblazer, and Trax. Finance terms to fit every budget. Rates as low as 2.9% APR. See us at Danny Mental Rapid Chevrolet or DannyMentalRapidChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. Length of finance contract is limited on select models with qualified credit. Expires 4/30/25.
Hey, sports parents and ballers of all ages, Rapid City has a new sports facility that you have to check out. E3 Sports Complex on East North Street is the newest indoor sports facility featuring 4 full courts. E3 Sports is here to serve the community and wants all athletes of any age to come and experience expert training, coaching, and the opportunity to unlock your athletic potential. Memberships and court rentals are available now. Come to play at E3 Sports Complex. Learn more at e3sports.org.
Great news. I just got the State Farm personal price plan on our home and auto insurance.
You told our agent about my thing for romance novels?
No, you don't have to get that personal. Our agent just helped me choose affordable options to create a personalized price just for us.
Oh, sweet. Then you won't believe the love triangle Jen is in now.
Contact me, State Farm agent Scott Carlson, to create your personal price plan today.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate.
Welcome back in. The Nate Brown Show is on. Thursday edition of the program. Coming up, John Stiegelmeier joins us live from Brookings. South Dakota Sports Hall of Fame class was just announced this week. And Coach Stig is in. You expected that. Kim Nelson, congrats. Sioux Falls Roosevelt, Rapid City Central back in the day. So some great folks get into the South Dakota Sports Hall of Fame. We got John Stiegelmeier talking about the honor. And then I want to get into the Jacks program as it takes the next step to Dan Jackson. Spring game for the Jacks this weekend. Coach Stig's coming up. Thursday happy hour on tap with Rob Kagron on his way into the studio on the Nate Brown Show on Fox Sports Radio. Our guest host every Thursday, Rob Kagron, coming up. You know what I'm going to ask Rob? I really want to know what happened here. I want to know if he's going to step up and answer this question. Rob's a big golfer. Okay, so it's a great time to have him. Masters today. And he told me that on his home course, he could beat a pro in one hole out of 18. So on his home course, he's like, hey, the pro would have a bad couple of shots. I would have a great couple of shots. I would beat him. So I'm going to ask you guys, how fancy and how good do you think you are? Do you think you could win a hole today at the Masters in a round against Scotty Scheffler? You think you could beat Justin Rose? He went 7 under today. I want to know that. I want to do a little psychological therapy here for you today, because I'm here to tell you nobody's beating a pro. Tom, Dick, and Harry aren't beating a pro. Jimmy Lipper, you aren't beating a pro today on any of the holes at the Masters. So I just want to know my friend Rob Kagron's coming in. Could he win a hole at the Masters? Now, is it different when you say, well, my home course, I golf on my home course, I know the course. I know how to shoot it. I guess I could come closer to that. I still think golfers don't realize how good the PGA pros are. I hope many of you have been to PGA Tour events. So I covered the PGA Championship a couple of years. And when I went to the range, I just sat there and watched the golfers at the range. I was waiting for Tiger. And I'm watching the golfers at the range. They place the ball exactly where they need it. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's kind of like people think, hey, I'm a great college basketball player. But when you watch an NBA player, it's another level. It is truly, they are truly special. There's something that's crazy about it. There's a ton of guys that are good at golf. I get it. Amateur golfers, and they win the South Dakota Amateur and the whole thing. I get that. The pros are the pros. And so now, I hate to tell you, but I have a feeling my friend Rob Kegron's going to come in here and say, yeah, I could have won a hole today at the Masters. And we're going to have some fun tonight. But let me ask you who the best golfer ever is, if we're going to have some golf debates tonight on the Nate Brown Show. If you haven't answered that question, I'd appreciate it. Let's get the poll results. Who's the best golfer ever? Has that been decided? I feel like everybody's saying Tiger for how he elevated the game. People didn't watch Jack as much. Jack has more major championships. Tiger obviously not catching him. So shouldn't Jack Nicklaus be in the ballpark? Right now on the Nate Brown Show, 68% say Tiger's the best golfer ever. 32% say Jack Nicklaus. Vote in our Twitter poll at Nate Brown Show. Also on the text line, 605-720-1067. Best golfer ever. We'll get into it. Maybe it's Rob Kegron. He could have, I don't know. We'll have some fun. Hang on. Before Rob comes in for happy hour, we'll go to the South Dakota Sports Hall of Fame inductee, Coach Stig. What a great career. We'll talk to John Stiglmeyer next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Save big money on your next staining project right now at Menards. Pittsburgh's ultra-advanced semi-transparent exterior stain and sealant in one can be applied on damp wood, allowing you to clean the surface and stain in one day. Save big on ultra-advanced exterior stain and sealant. And don't forget to check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards. The South Dakota Lottery is all about good fun. But too much fun is not good fun. Like too much ice cream. Brain freeze is not fun. Or roller coasters. Good fun! Or lottery games. Too much fun is not good fun. That's why the South Dakota Lottery reminds you to always play only for fun. And if you can't, help is available and always confidential. Because too much fun is not good fun. Play responsibly. Keep the fun good. Learn more at keepthefungood.com.
Spring is here, and so are the savings at Spearfish Motors. Freshen up your drive with a brand new GMC, like a Sierra HD, now up to $2,750 off, or a Sierra Light Duty with savings up to $6,250. At Spearfish GMC, we also have a great selection of terrains, Acadias, and Canyons, ready for wherever the season takes you. But just like spring, these deals won't last forever. Online always at SpearfishMotors.com. Spearfish GMC, we are professional grade.
Get ready to swing into spring at Tin Lizzy Gaming Resort with grand prize drawings that will win you a different kind of green. We've teamed up with Elkhorn Ridge Golf Club to bring you grand prize drawings every Friday and Saturday night in April. We'll draw for free rounds of golf, and one lucky winner each night will win a couple's membership. Elkhorn Ridge offers a full resort experience with tennis courts, a pool, restaurant, bar, and one of the nicest golf courses in the area. Swing into spring and take your game to the next level, exclusively at Tin Lizzy Gaming Resort in Deadwood.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Being in business has its rewards as well as its challenges. Lights when you leave at night. Your business is unique, and you need a bank that understands your needs. You deserve the best. You need a financial partner that is invested in your success. You need Pioneer Bank and Trust. Don't settle. Pioneer. Pioneer Bank and Trust. Local.
Pioneer Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
My reason why is community.
My reason why is leadership.
My reason why is to inspire others.
Why do thousands of teenagers here in South Dakota participate in high school sports and activities?
My reason why is friendship.
Their reasons are as diverse as the students themselves. But the one thing they all share is the opportunity to have fun and learn important life lessons. Lessons like supporting their community, learning how to be a leader, and building lifelong friendships.
My reason why is defying expectations.
Is there a grade school or middle school student in your family? Then encourage them to participate in a sport or activity when they go to high school.
My reason why is to make a change in the world.
This message presented by the NFHS and the South Dakota High School Activities Association.
One more time. This is the Nate Brown Show. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, South Dakota Sports Talk Show is on tonight, Thursday edition of the program. Rob Kegron's coming in as our guest host every Thursday in the second hour. Hang on, Rob is on the way. A lot to discuss tonight. The Nate Brown Show is here on Fox Sports Radio, also on Twitter. Follow us and watch us live at Nate Brown Show and on YouTube as well, The Nate Brown Show. You got the show. Thanks for listening across South Dakota. How about the South Dakota Sports Hall of Fame class? I was taking a look. A lot of great coaches and athletes over the years, and I thought, well, I get to talk to this guy again. It gives me another reason to get Coach Stig on. He will be inducted into the South Dakota Sports Hall of Fame. John Stiegelmeier, longtime head coach, national champion, multi at South Dakota State. John, good to have you again. How are you?
I'm super, Nate, and I'm going to run out of opportunities to be able to talk to you. So I'm going to have to just send you some texts once in a while and say, hey, I need to visit with you every 3-4 months. So I'm doing super. I know you're super. I want to comment on something. Just before I got on, you had the ad for South Dakota High School Activities Association. What an amazing organization. Not that they support you, but the impact they have on the life of human beings. So I'm glad they support you. It was fun to hear that ad.
Well, I appreciate that. And I wanted to talk to you, Coach. We'll keep reaching out. It's not football season. It's springtime. We should be talking about other stuff. But you're used to, hey, spring games coming up. I'm going to get into all that stuff, but I want to get to what was announced. South Dakota Sports Hall of Fame. The class was announced. I see some great folks in there. Kim Nelson, great high school coach. And, of course, you're on that list. When you got notified, I mean, you got to say, Coach, it's not a surprise. I'm not surprised by it. So what did you think?
Well, I don't know about surprise. I'm tremendously honored. The term Hall of Fame has got a unique ring to it, if you will. It's like those people in there are somebody special, and I looked at the list, and there's many special people in there. But you mentioned Kim Nelson. I think Kim and I would both say, in a football program, when you have success, there are so many people. And for my tenure at South Dakota State, it's magnified. So many people were involved in building the program. So it's a special honor. But I hope everybody that was part of the program during my tenure, my 35 years there, feel part of that award.
Okay, I want to ask you something about this. So when you get a Hall of Fame honor, a lot of times it's the great accomplishments you had, and I get that, and you did, winning a national championship, all the conference championships, all of those wins. But I think about guys that stayed as well, guys that built a program. Why did you end up staying at South Dakota State? Because we see coaches now, they're going here, they're going there. You stayed. That's not going to happen very much anymore. Why?
First of all, you're exactly right, Nate. It's not going to happen because of the landscape for not just one reason. It's not just salary. There's a number of reasons that figure into that, and there always is. Why did I stay? I wasn't my career aspiration was to coach in the Rose Bowl. Like, when I was in college, the Rose Bowl was the granddaddy of it all, right? And I promised all my college roommates tickets to the Rose Bowl, kind of boasting that I'd be there someday. And I had an experience at the FBS level with great people, and I mean great people. But it wasn't that experience the Lord put me in wasn't the way I was wired. And so I was lucky enough to go to South Dakota State. And then my career moves, a lot of people maybe don't realize this, but my career moves happened within a hallway rather than across the nation. DB coach, defensive coordinator, linebacker coach, head coach in Division II, head coach in Division I. So I was always kind of experiencing change within my job, but my family didn't have to go through all those moves. I just feel so blessed.
John Stiegelmeier on tonight, former South Dakota State head coach. He's inducted now to the South Dakota Sports Hall of Fame, at least getting set to get inducted. The new class just announced this week. We have him on the Nate Brown Show tonight. So I look at your coaching tree, and you talk about people that were with you and that were a part of this. You get an award like this. Your coaching tree, you've had some guys that have done some big-time things. So I've seen now coaches get hired at other places, basketball, and then their coaches step in and take over as head coach. So you had that as well, and I want to ask you, how did you evaluate how to hire guys? Did you feel like you were getting guys that were going on to do things like they're doing?
Well, when we hired an assistant, first of all, as a staff, we put them through the rigors. I mean, and I'm kind of proud of this. In a lot of programs, a football coach will call up his buddies, call people he trusts, get some names, call them up, spend a little time with them, and hire them. Everybody we hired had a day-and-a-half interview, if we were allotted that amount of time, and we found out, number one, if they're a good person, but number two, kind of built in, but we asked certain questions that to define if they're a hard worker, which is a prerequisite for coaching football. And then one of the things that I think was unique for us, Nate, is we wanted to know if they could teach football. Because football is a complicated game. The players that play it aren't necessarily gifted at it, so you have to have a guy, and let's face it, other than the high school coaches and teachers, many college coaches didn't go into coaching because they were in the education block. They were into teaching. They had a good experience. They knew somebody that got into coaching. So we had to find guys that were great teachers. And those guys, again, going back to the honor, those guys were a huge part of this honor.
Some great coaches been with Coach Stiegelmeier over his years. Clark Lee at Vanderbilt, amongst others. South Dakota Sports Hall of Fame class just announced. John Stiegelmeier is in the Hall of Fame class, getting set to get inducted here on the Nate Brown Show. A couple more, Coach. Let's go to the Sports Hall of Fame banquet. You're going to go to the banquet. You're going to give a speech. What do you want people to take away from what you want people to know about this?
Well, I want them to know who invested in me. I want them to know why I was blessed to be the coach I became. The John Gregory's at South Dakota State, who invited me to be a student coach. The Dennis Rembrandt said, you and I, that answered all my questions. The Mike Daly that taught me the objective, factual stuff about football. The Dr. Jim Kretschmans at Northern that taught me the stuff outside of the X's and O's, the praise loudly, criticize quietly, and 4 positives for every negative, investment in people. All those people will stand on that stage with me that night.
South Dakota Sports Hall of Famer John Stiegelmeier. I'm not surprised by it. A great honor. Well-deserved. He's getting in the new class of the South Dakota Sports Hall of Fame. Hey, spring football's going on. It's the spring game this week. There are a lot of people talking about spring games. Should you do them? What do you get out of them? There's people in the big programs that are eliminating them. Dan Jackson's his first one here. What do you think of the spring game?
I think it's your 15th practice. I think it's time for your players to get one more evaluation in a game-like situation. I think for Dan specifically, to put his coordinators in a game-like situation and have them go through, and all his new coaches to go through game-like responsibilities, I think it's tremendous. And I think every once in a while in sports, somebody gets on a topic or a theme, and they start talking about it. And I appreciate the question, but it's our 15th practice, and we're going to get better because of it. And by the way, Dan Jackson is an unbelievable leader and head coach, so I can't wait to see the spring game and what he does with this program.
All right, you're not coaching, but I want to ask you if you've missed it as the years have gone on here now that you've been away from it.
I miss everything about it, Nate. I miss talking to the press. I miss recruiting calls. I miss the late-night strategy. I miss bringing a young man into my office and saying, "Why did you make that decision?" Let's try to grow from this and not crucify the kid. I miss. I tell you what, and I'm gonna get criticized for this statement, but I don't think there's another profession that compares to coaching football, and specifically college football, where you're dealing with student athletes. I think it's what God made me to be, and I was blessed to do it. And I think it's an unbelievable profession, and I do miss it.
Spring game coming up with new head coach Dan Jackson. Of course, John Stiegelmeier still a great ambassador for the Jacks and newest South Dakota Sports Hall of Fame inductee. Congrats to you, Coach. Always enjoy talking with you. Thanks for the time.
Nate, I appreciate you. I appreciate your professionalism, and I can't wait to talk next time.
I appreciate you coming on. John Stiegelmeier on tonight, South Dakota Sports Hall of Famer, new class inductee, and well-deserved, no doubt. One of the all-time greats in South Dakota sports, and now getting into the Hall of Fame. Appreciate him coming on. Coach Stig on tonight. Let's go to Thursday happy hour. Rob Kegron. Is he ready to answer my questions about golf? He's a big golfer. It's Masters Week. We've got some interesting thoughts coming up.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Springtime DIY is in full bloom at Fleet Farm. 3-pound bags of Superior grass seed are on sale for just $9.99. 32-pound bags of Superior weed and feed are sale priced at $19.99. Plus, buy an M18 5-amp rechargeable battery starter kit and get a select Milwaukee Bear tool for free. In-store only. Indoor, outdoor. Handle all your DIY needs at the best prices guaranteed at Fleet Farm.
It seems like the cost of everything is going up, so it's nice to save a little dough when you can, especially for something you love to eat every day. Before I go grocery shopping, I print out a coupon for $1 off any Country Hearth, Village Hearth, or Artisan Hearth bread product. My favorite is Dakota Style 12 grain. My wife's breakfast go-to is a toasted Village Hearth English muffin. We can save $1 on each. Go to countryhearthbreads.com/coupons and print 1 or 2 out before your next shopping trip. And don't forget, Country Hearth, Village Hearth, and Artisan Hearth bread products are baked locally and delivered fresh daily.
Shop the region's largest selection of spirits, wines, and beers at the best prices today at both Mr. Liquor locations in Rapid City. The big 175 bottle of Absolute Vodka is only $29.99. Get set for Cinco de Mayo with Jose Cuervo Tequila. Save $3 on a handle, now just $35.99. Or Crown Royal on special for $29.99 for the 750 milliliter. Price is good at the new Mr. Liquor 2 next to Walmart off Catron or on the corner of West Chicago and Sturgis Road in Rapid City.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Lows dip down to about 40. Tonight, under partly cloudy skies, winds out of the west 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mainly clear skies. Tomorrow, highs level off around 79. 52 tomorrow night, partly cloudy. Partly cloudy skies Saturday with daytime highs approaching 73. 55, slight chance of rain Sunday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently, it's 60 degrees.
Building your Black Hills dream? Builder's First Source in Rapid City, Spearfish, and Hot Springs has you covered. Top quality materials, product expertise, all your building needs in one place for materials and services. Just stop in or start at BLDR.com. That's BLDR.com. Builder's First Source. Build it.
The doctors and staff at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center have provided expert bone, joint, and muscle care to patients in the Black Hills area since 1976. Whether you're an elite athlete, a weekend warrior, or just want to continue your active lifestyle, the orthopedic experts at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center will help you stay in the game. Don't let an injury keep you from doing the things you love. Trust the team at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center, specializing in what moves you. Learn more at bhosc.com.
Whether you run the race, make the catch, cast a line, pitch a tent, or just look good doing it, Shields Rapid City has your gear. From athletic clothing from your favorite team, cold weather gear to keep you warm, to the best camping selection this side of the Black Hills, and the most stylish and functional women's outerwear and footwear, Shields has the widest selection of the best brands in the business. So when you're ready to get out, get in the game, or get going, get to Shields. Shields, we're right there with you at Rushmore Crossing in Rapid City.
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in. The Nate Brown Show is on Thursday edition of the program. Hope you've had a great day. Thanks for making this show possible. We appreciate it. Fox Sports Radio across South Dakota. South Dakota Sports Talk Show is on. Stream us on X at Nate Brown Show. Follow the show live. Answer our questions of the day. And stream us there at Nate Brown Show on X. Welcome in to Thursday Happy Hour, presented by the Skybox. Right above the Firehouse, downtown Rapid City. Weather's turning nice for now. Weather's turning nice. Get down to the Firehouse. You got the patio outside. You got the Skybox upstairs. You got the Masters on at the Skybox. Main Street, Rapid City. Rob Kegron's in studio here, so I got some good golf discussions to have. I mean, this is one of those things you would think that, the Masters isn't like Rob Kegron's biggest thing in his life. It's his wife, it's his family, and I think the Masters is close.
The Masters is, I'd say, my daughter, and then the Masters, and then God knows what anything else. I'll get in trouble for saying that, but it's basically true. I mean, it's my favorite week of the year.
I understand that. So you're going to bring some passion to it, and I'm going to bring some passion tonight. Scott Van Pelt went on Dan Patrick yesterday and said a shot clock for the game of golf would benefit it. If we can get the pace of play going here, let's pick it up a little bit. So pitch clock, I'm a fan of in baseball. I never thought shot clock, could you put it on the thing, have, 45 seconds, shot clock on the PGA Tour, and you say what?
I think in principle, it's a great idea to speed up play. I mean, the golf tournaments, the rounds take forever. I mean, and I get it. They're playing for a lot of money. They're playing for more money than they've ever played for before. It's their profession. I understand they take every shot very seriously, and you can win and lose a tournament with one shot. You really can.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't take 4.5 to 5 hours to play these rounds of golf. I mean, there's no reason for it other than they're resetting, taking way too much time in between shots, checking the wind 4, 5, 6 different times. So I agree in theory. In practice, I don't see how on earth they can ever do it.
In practice?
Well, think about
why
it.
not?
Right, the pitcher, and we both love the pitch clock in baseball. We both love that it's sped up the game. Kind of can keep you a little more interested. You're not watching a 4-hour baseball game every night.
Yeah, and people whined about it a little bit, but now it's just the way it is.
But that clock is visible to the pitcher at all times, right?
Yeah.
The pitcher's in the same spot on the mound. The clock is in the same spot on the wall. It's easily seen. You could say the same thing about the shot clock in basketball. Where are you putting this clock on the course when they're hitting different shots in different places? They're hitting anywhere between 60 and 80 shots around.
Very easy. The caddy. The caddy's got it right here.
And so
it's like a pager.
Who
Do you
works,
have a pager?
Yeah, used
pagers,
to.
Right?
We're old enough to both have pagers.
So right there, the pager, he's got a clock on it. It's right there.
But the caddy works for the player. So what is he going to do? Put the clock up in front of him? And say what? Hey, Bud. Hey, Joe. You got to hit quick here.
You got to pick it
caddy, up. You're putting the caddy in an impossible situation.
Impossible?
He works for the player, and you want him to throw a clock in his face?
Yeah, it's the rules. Otherwise, you're going to get docked to stroke.
No, you'd have to have a rules official. You'd have to have some official be walking around. Remember, at least in the first 2 rounds of every golf tournament, there are 3 players in a group. They may not be right next to each other when they're hitting these shots.
The caddy. That's it.
The caddy is worried about other things than the caddy is worried about club selection, cleaning the clubs, replacing divots.
The caddies make some money too. So let's pick a caddy. If I was with you, I'd have the shot clock right here, and I'd say, Rob, let's pick it up here. We got 20 seconds. Let's dial it in.
Hey, Nate, I need your help here. I don't need you rushing me through this shot. I'm costing both of us money by you putting this. Hey, Rob, now you're getting me all fired up. Yeah. My blood pressure's through the roof, and now I shank one into the woods.
This is why it would be entertaining. You got it. I mean, you're making the case for it. Now we're going to have arguments. We're going to have this. I mean, golfers don't like their caddies anyway half the time, and now they're going to have a shot clock. That's all. I think you could implement it. It wouldn't be that hard. And then we'd have it on the TV screen for the Masters. We'd be able to see it at home, and then the caddy would have it like the pager right there on his waist, and or on the bag, whatever you want to put it. Every time you get up to the ball, 45 seconds. You get up to the ball, 45 seconds. So figure out the distance, figure out the club, wind, hit it.
But which independent person is going to start that clock? Because it's not going to be the caddy. The caddy's not going to be forced to start the clock. Someone that you'd have to agree with.
We got a technology.
Otherwise, the caddy's going to be, I'm going to slow roll starting this clock.
We got technology, GPS. When they meet that ball, the ball's tracked. We got the ball there. When they get up to it, boom, it starts.
I mean, then you're going to have to start give timeouts as well, right? Because they're going to want a few times around where they have a very difficult shot where they want to be able to stop that clock.
Oh boy! So you like it, but you just killed it.
I love it.
Absolutely killed it.
I love it because I think it takes way too long for these guys to hit. I mean, and I think probably the worst violation isn't actually with the shots from the fairway or from the tee. It's actually on the greens where they're walking around 3, 4, 5 times. They're doing these aim point things. They're trying to stand with their feet and feel the green. Hey guys, okay, you've played these courses many times.
Yeah,
figure out how to read the green and get up there and make the putt. They take way too long on the green. So and that is, I think, where you could actually have a clock, right? Because everyone's on the same green. So once they're on the green and it's their turn, you could have a clock on the edge of the stands. I think it would work. And that would speed up enough that I think you'd fix some of the problem. You wouldn't fix all of the problem, and you're taking away this, although I do like the battle royale of caddy versus player that you've described.
That's great.
It would make golf, because I know golf is not for the masses. I love it. It would make it way more entertaining to see these guys start yelling at each other because of the clock.
I wonder if they would ever think about a clock. Would it speed up the game enough? I threw out 45 seconds. I'm just thinking as I played. You've played more than me. Is that good? That's fine, right?
But that is really, the PGA Tour says, I think the first person, so think about it like this. 3 guys hit a tee shot, right? They hit the ball into the fairway or the rough, a couple hundred yards down. When the first guy who's supposed to play, who would be the one furthest away from the hole, I'm pretty sure he gets like a minute 15 because they factor in that he's going to be the first one that has to get the yardage, factor in the wind, pick a club. But the other 2 guys only get 40 seconds, right? Because the idea is they're doing all of that stuff while the first guy is hitting.
That's the slow play penalty. I mean, there is slow play being monitored.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And they put guys on the clock. They just don't enforce it as well as they should.
Right.
So if a player gets a group actually gets a warning, then they get a second warning, and then only then after could they actually be penalized with a stroke. But it never happens, right? Guys go over 40 seconds all the time. Guys use the whole 40 seconds, are about to hit, and then the wind changed, and they stop, and they reset the whole thing again.
We've got a nice answer here, and I like this. A nonpartisan person. Okay, nonpartisan, an official, a rules official, holds a mobile digital clock up in the air on a very tall pole.
I mean, but you do understand, like there's 100 in a full tournament in golf, 156 players, right, in groups of 3.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Masters,
52.
I think the PGA Tour can afford it.
They have to have 52 different people walking around with this giant clock that will be an eyesore.
I love the giant pole. I love that. I mean, you stick the pole up there. It's great.
What is it? A 20-foot pole?
It's great.
What happens when someone hits the pole with a golf ball?
That's a great South Dakota sports answer right there. That is a great South Dakota sports. Let's see. Listener text: you could put a shot clock on a drone. Fly the drone.
Yeah, because golfers would not be bothered by drones flying over their head.
Well, golfers are bothered by everything.
Let's be fair.
Golfers are bothered by everything. So you would like the shot clock, but listener text is the golf shot clock should be 2 minutes. 2 minutes per shot. That's a little too much.
That's way too much.
It's too much.
Yeah, we'll never. These guys will be out there for 7 hours.
By the way, I have a tough question for Rob Kagron. This is a different version of the question I debated with you last year. I asked you last year about this time, could you beat a PGA pro, playing in the Masters today, could you beat him on your home course? And you said, on one hole out of 18, I can beat him on my home course. No problem. One hole, that's all.
Yep,
I didn't
just
say
one hole.
beat him in the round. One hole on your home course. So let's ramp that up today. Could you beat a pro today at Augusta, at the Masters, one hole, 18? You would have beat Scotty Scheffler today. I'm really interested to see what you say.
Now, you have to be specific here. And I knew this question was coming. I knew you had something up your sleeve that you were going to try to trap me in here. Am I playing it from the same distance as those pros are playing?
Yes.
Well, then no. I would. That I can't admit.
So you would.
Do I think I have
over.
a chance? I have a chance on. And I know that I can describe every single. And that's how crazy I am about this tournament. I can describe every single hole on the course, 1 through 18. With great detail. I think that there are only maybe 4 holes where I'd even have a chance, even a possible chance, but I'd have to hit my greatest shot.
You're starting to talk yourself into it.
I'm working myself up here.
So now you only got 4 shots where you can even compete, so you're really going to blow it. I mean, you only got 4 holes out of the whole 18, and you got to be that good to beat Rory today?
I got to be that good on one of those 4 holes,
yes.
And the player has to not be good on that hole.
Like Rory on 17.
Now, is it any pro or is it a specific one?
No, it's anybody. You say,
there's
a pro today.
There were some guys who did not play very well. Nick Dunlap shot like 15 over today. I think if I played Nick Dunlap today, I'd have a chance to beat him one hole at the Masters.
I knew.
I watched him play.
He
stunk.
You just want to talk yourself into this.
He hit so many balls in the water.
I'm here to tell you, and you know my argument. All you guys think you're really good. You might be good. I mean, Chris Russo has another story, but you might be really good. But Mad Dog said you're okay.
I'm average.
You think you can beat a pro. You know how good these guys are. You've been to tournaments.
Yeah.
These guys place the ball wherever they want it, usually, especially when they're going up against you. So, I mean, they don't worry about that at all. If they got Scotty Scheffler in their threesome there, yeah. But
you said it was today. That means they're playing in those Masters conditions. They're playing in the... Now, if you're telling me it's a week after the tournament and it's just me and this other pro in a carefree round for them, yeah, I'm probably not going to beat them. But I'm not going to feel the pressure, right? Because all I have to do is win one hole.
Yeah, you're going to feel the pressure.
I just got to win one.
You are going to feel so much pressure it would make your head spin.
Ow.
I mean, your head would explode.
I'm mentally tough.
You at Augusta, I'd like to see. I don't feel any pressure, and you go up against Scotty Scheffler and Justin Rose.
What's the worst? I lose a hole, and I go to the next one. I get another chance. It's not like I got to beat them. I just got to one time.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. You've talked yourself in. You would have beat somebody today. Nick Dunlap. I never thought he'd make the show, but you brought him in. Only you could do that. Listener text, you would get out-drove on every par 4. The only chance you have is on a par 3, he said.
So, and that's where I was generally going. But the third hole, and I'm not trying to get into the weeds here, the third hole at the Masters at Augusta National is a 350-yard par 4. That is not long, folks. I mean, I have holes at my home course that are significantly longer than that. So there's a couple of those kind of holes, plus the par 3s. Okay. That's where I was going.
Rob Kagron said he continues to say he would beat a pro on one hole, even at the Masters.
Yes. One hole, just one.
This is amazing. What do you have in that bottle over there? I thought that was water, but
it was. Nope, not going to say that on the air.
I think it's water. You tell me if you could beat a pro today, guys, because I think there's great golfers, and I don't know if you've won the South Dakota Amateur Tournament, but you're a little ways off that.
Never entered, but no.
Yeah, you're a little ways off. Could you beat a pro? 605-720-1067 on the text line on one hole. Not the round, one hole out of 18 at the Masters. Could you guys beat a pro? I believe nobody listening to this program could. I don't know. Maybe we have some golfers out there, though.
Oh, I can name off the top of my head 5 guys that I know that if they had that challenge, they would win. I would bet almost everything I have.
So these are real golfers? I know some real golfers, too.
Guys who I play golf with who are scratch golfers who, again, it's 1 out of 18. Now, if you told me they had to beat them 4 holes, I probably wouldn't take it. and they're that good. But for 1 hole, they would absolutely win because they would hit a great shot in on a number of these holes. And they're gonna run into a couple putts.
Okay, here's what I want to do. I'll be the guy holding the tall pole when Rob's trying to go up against the PGA pros.
Aiming for you.
By the way, do we know the debate? Is this a debate at all? Who is the best golfer ever? I threw it out on Twitter. I had a feeling it was going to go this way, but I really want to discuss next.
This is the Nate Brown.
Military, first responders, teachers, Renewal by Anderson is offering a heartfelt thank you with its first ever appreciation sale. 20% off every window and door, no money down, no interest, and no payments for 18 months. Plus an additional 9% off if purchased on the initial consultation. That's 29% off. Military, first responders, teachers, this is a limited time offer, so do not wait. Please book your free estimate right now at RBARapidCity.com.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
Orthopedic and Sports Medicine is here when you need us for the extreme athletes or those everyday activities. From kiddos with broken bones to retirees with creaky knees. Whether you're pumping iron or planting petunias, we'll be in our clinic locations throughout the region working together. Monument Health Orthopedic and Sports Medicine, getting you moving again so you can confidently say, I'm back. Go to monument.health/orthopedics to find out more.
Spring is in the air, and so are the savings at Highmark Credit Union. Ready to hit the road this season? How about a new ride with a new car loan at unbeatable low rates for qualified borrowers? At Highmark Credit Union, you can drive away with low rates, flexible terms, and the freedom to make every trip to Highmark or on the road feel like a spring vacation. So, what are you waiting for? Spring into action today with a car loan from Highmark today. Visit highmarkfcu.com or stop by and see us. The road to savings starts here. We'll make it happen. Terms and conditions apply. Visit highmarkfcu.com for details. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Looks like winter is losing its grip and we are headed for warmer weather to come. How did your car make it through the winter? Hi, this is Martin from Al's D&I Repair. Winter is hard on your car, especially on the components underneath. The sand and chemicals that make winter driving safer can affect the brakes, chassis, and exhaust parts. While you have your car in for routine maintenance, we'll inspect your car to make sure you are set for spring and summer travels.
Al's D&I Repair on Sturgis Road. Call 348-1447 to set up your appointment.
Ever since Barron's Wilson Funeral Home first opened their doors in Rapid City 140 years ago, they have continued to make personal service their number one priority. In your time of grief, they offer a personal touch by being at your side through every step of the funeral process. They answer difficult questions and guide you toward other professional services you may need. See for yourself the wide variety of services they can provide for you by visiting their website at barronswilson.com.
This is The Nate Brown Show, also streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe to The Nate Brown Show on YouTube.
Had a little Caddyshack love there for you tonight. Masters Week. Rob Kegron's one of his favorite weeks. He said this is one of the highlights of spring for you.
Oh my God, it's one of the highlights of my year.
Like one of the highlights of your year.
Monday, I will be utterly depressed with no more with the Masters being 51 weeks away again. I love this. I love the golf. I love the golf course. And then to me, it's the beginning of spring, right? And the Masters is on. We are now in spring.
Feels nice. Masters is on. Justin Rose is on top. By the way, I saw that 7 under. He usually starts out a little hot. The Nate Brown Show is on. Rob Kagron's in studio. It's happy hour every Thursday on Fox Sports Radio, brought to you by the Skybox, Rapid City's premier sports bar, downtown above the Firehouse, Main Street, Rapid City. So is this debate settled? You tell me, because I think that most of the audience, if I asked them, who's the best golfer ever, I thought a huge portion would say Tiger Woods. And I watched Jack Nicklaus tee off today, started the tournament, and I thought, does Jack Nicklaus get enough love from you golfers like you, Rob Kagron? Jack's got 18 majors, and we leave him in the dust because Tiger transformed the game and the media coverage and the sponsorships and the revenue and the purse and the brand. Is Jack Nicklaus in that stratosphere? Why don't you guys put him in there?
I am in 100% agreement with you.
Really?
Jack Nicklaus is the greatest golfer of all time.
Whoa.
It is not Tiger Woods.
I wasn't going there.
Well, I'm going there. Jack Nicklaus is the greatest golfer of all time.
Wow.
Now, if you want to argue influence on the game, if you want to argue talent, just raw skill and talent, I think you have an easy argument for Tiger. But that's not how I judged, and you know how I judge. We've done enough sports radio together.
Wins.
I love wins. Championships. And Jack has 18. Yeah, Tiger's had more overall tour wins.
Yes.
But it was a different world back then when they were playing as well, okay? And Jack winning 18 majors, plus all of the second places he had in majors. Remember with Tiger, it's either win or be further down the list. He didn't come in second in many majors at all.
Yeah, you are pointing this out. So the numbers, we know the major numbers. Jack Nicklaus 18, Tiger 15. Not catching him there. Tiger 82 overall wins, PGA Tour wins. Jack Nicklaus 73. So it's not like he's like way off.
Yep.
He's 9 back. Then you look at it this way to say Jack Nicklaus, top 5 major finishes. He holds the record, 56.
That's incredible consistency, Nate. They only play
Top
4
5.
a year. They play 4 a year, right?
56 times, top 5.
So that means for 15, obviously it was more than 15 years, but for 15 years, he was coming top 5.
Well, but you tell me, you're saying Jack Nicklaus, the greatest golfer of all time. You're taking the majors as the number one. The audience, and I thought this would happen, 69% say it's Tiger, 31% say it's Jack.
Well, I think there's a couple of reasons for that. One is that there's always a recency bias, right? Most people didn't watch Jack, right? Like,
correct.
I'm a huge golf fan. Jack won his last major in 1986 at the Masters. I was 5 years old. I don't remember the 1986 Masters.
Right.
And I don't even know if my dad would have watched it at the time, right?
Golf wasn't covered like it is,
Yeah.
and the whole thing.
So you have the recency bias, number one, but you also have, and I think this is what gets weighted for people, and I don't have a problem if this is what you use as your criteria to judge. Tiger Woods changed golf for the better and forever, right? He just did, right? He made golf cool, interesting, popular, where casual sports fans who don't necessarily play golf watch golf events just to see Tiger Woods play.
But here's my rub on this, and you're the golfer, I'm not the golfer. Tiger is... Jack Nicklaus wouldn't beat Tiger. Jack Nicklaus
would or would not?
Would not.
Yes, he would.
He would not beat Tiger.
I disagree with you.
How far did Jack drive it? How far did he drive it? How far can Tiger drive it? Come on.
They have different equipment.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Well, but they'd have to play with the same equipment, Nate. Right?
I think Tiger's a little better shape, a little better athlete than Jack, a little bit.
And if Tiger were an athlete in the 60s, you're telling me he's going to be that much better of an athlete? They didn't take it. We've elevated the athleticism of all sports on completely different levels over the last 20, 30 years.
But you and I both say that Michael Jordan is still the best instead of LeBron.
Yes.
And LeBron is a beast, an absolute beast.
Correct. And I get that point. But I don't know if it's a fair comparison to say that Tiger would have beat Jack if they were both in their... They'd have to be playing under the same set of rules here, right? The same equipment. I still think Tiger might have as much... I shouldn't say that as much. He'd have more talent. I wonder about the consistency, because that's always what Tiger... If he's had any flaw to him, it's first of all, how many times did Jack Nicklaus get injured and not be able to play, right? Tiger's had so many... a lot of it is unlucky. I didn't root for Tiger when I was younger. I've rooted for him so hard over the last 10 years or so, particularly when he won the Masters 5 or 6 years ago, whatever it was. But he gets so unlucky with these with these crazy injuries, and he's played through a lot of them. Part of being the greatest is being able to play. You and I completely agree on that.
Yeah. Jack Nicklaus, listener text, who would, I got people voting for Jack, so we got some people saying Jack, most people saying Tiger, 69% of the Twitter audience has said Tiger, Jack Nicklaus, 31%. Listener text, Jack Nicklaus is the GOAT. Arnold Palmer and Jack made golf must-watch golf in the 80s. Woods, in his booming driving days, was in the steroid era, and gets a pass. Gets a pass.
Are they saying, do they know something that we don't know?
Well, I don't know about
Did Tiger
that.
take steroids? I don't think I've ever heard that story.
Tiger's a good athlete. I will say that. He made golfers into, I mean, now you have to be an athlete.
He made them into athletes.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was kind of the guy that did that. By the way, one more on this. So, golfers, Colin Morikawa, he's plus 1,400 before the tournament started. He had a struggle there in a tournament, and he didn't want to talk to the media. And so I brought this into the show today because I thought, do we want pro athletes to be required to talk to the media? And all the pro sports leagues, they're required. So when you lose LeBron and when you lose whoever it is, you get stories and coverage and insight from the losing locker room. Golfers don't have to do it. They're independent. They don't have to do it. What do you say about pro athletes being required to talk to the media? Would you do it?
Absolutely, they should be required. These guys are getting paid millions upon millions of dollars on the backs of fans who are watching it on television, going to the events, and they want a connection. What is the point of being a fan? You want a connection to the team and to the athlete. Now, in golf, obviously, it's different because it's an individual sport. They don't play for a team. But all the more, I love when great athletes, when they don't have their best, and go sit there and take the questions, right? We can think of lots of guys, and it doesn't happen as much anymore, that's for sure. But I can think of lots of guys throughout history that wouldn't duck the tough question after a tough loss, right?
Yep.
Golfers are soft in this way. They are very quick to get out of. They'll take all the questions when they win. They'll sit up there for an hour.
That's what he said. He goes, you guys never talk to me when I win. I've been a top 5 player, he said.
What's the greater story, though, right? Right. When I'll tell you a perfect example of this. Super Bowl, right? At the end of the Super Bowl, as soon as the game is over, I turn to NFL Network because I want to hear the opposing coach.
Yes.
I don't care.
I do as well.
What's the winner going to tell me? Well, we won. We were great today.
We're celebrating.
I want to hear the more interesting storyline is the loser.
Emotion. Yep. You learn stories, and that's where I think the media, you have to talk to players and fans yesterday on this show said, well, I don't know. It doesn't really matter to me. I think they were thinking more of the in-game stuff. I could take that or leave it. I hate that.
Agreed.
I don't mind. I don't like the in-game stuff. After games, Colin Morikawa, after a match, after a round, you should talk to the media. He doubled down this week. He said, it's not my job to tell you my story.
But part of being an athlete is that. You can, if you want to be a golfer in your own little club, you don't have to do that. When you become a professional athlete, I do think you have a responsibility to the fan base, to the community as a whole, and to furthering the game. And all of that happens by connecting with the media.
We're right back. One more hit. South Dakota State and USD. A question about where they should go next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Spring is here and Splash City is blooming with savings. It's their spring kickoff sale. Your backyard retreat is calling. Imagine relaxing, soaking away the day in a brand new Sundance or Jacuzzi spa from Splash City. During the spring kickoff sale, get 0% financing for 60 months or save up to $5,000 in instant rebates. Plus a free smart tub monitoring system upgrade, a $999 value. Splash City is your #1 water and entertainment specialist. Visit Splash City in Sioux Falls, Rapid City, or Sioux City today. Rest, relax, enjoy.
I was the cool dad. My kids wanted me to take them to the mall. I didn't think anything about doing it in front of them, even though I knew it was illegal. Then my oldest started driving. Like father, like son. Gotta read that text right now. But he took a life, and now his is shattered too.
Addiction has many faces. Texting and driving when you know it's life-threatening and illegal can be one of them. Take back control. Put the phone down.
Brought to you by the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety, the South Dakota Broadcasters Association, and this station. Fox Sports Rapid City brings you another exciting season of Post-22 baseball action starting this weekend. The Post-22 Hardhats begin their quest for a 45th state championship as they host the Sheridan Troopers in a 3-game series Saturday and Sunday at Fitzgerald Stadium. Join Dean Gurr and me, Jerome Wickersham, for the pregame show Saturday at 4:45, followed by the first pitch at 5. Then on Sunday, catch the first pitch at 1:30. Post-22 Battle Sheridan this weekend right here on Fox Sports Rapid City.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Lows dip down to about 40 tonight under partly cloudy skies. Winds out of the west 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mainly clear skies. Tomorrow, highs level off around 79. 52 tomorrow night, partly cloudy. Partly cloudy skies Saturday with daytime highs approaching 73. 55, slight chance of rain Sunday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently, it's 60 degrees.
Building projects can be complex. The risks are great and time is money. Consolidated Construction of Rapid City simplifies the process by being your advocate, guiding you through funding, design, and construction. They manage the players and the schedule and marry the design to your budget so you get the most for your investment. They promise an energizing experience before, during, and after construction. It's not enough that you get a quality building. They pledge you'll experience quality every step of the way. Consolidated Construction. OneCallToBuild.com.
Experience the best selection and lowest prices in town at both Mr. Liquor stores in Rapid City. Shop their massive wine selection where you'll find all flavors of Stella Rosa wines at $11.49. Save $3 off Black Box 3-liter wine, now just $17.49. Or take $4 off a bottle of Mayo Me wine for only $17.99. Plus, all types of Bailey's Irish Cream is on sale for $29.99. Price is good at the new Mr. Liquor 2 next to Walmart off Cadron or on the corner of West Chicago and Sturgis Road in Rapid City.
Where can you get surprisingly great rates on auto and renter's insurance? At State Farm. I'm State Farm Agent Matt McCormick, and I'm your one-stop shop in Rapid City for protecting your car and your stuff for surprisingly great rates. So stop looking around. Call me, State Farm Agent Matt McCormick, for surprisingly great auto and renter's rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown.
All right, one more time on a Thursday. What a show tonight. Rob Kagron in studio. It's Happy Hour brought to you by the Skybox, Rapid City's premier sports bar downtown, right above the firehouse. Get to the Skybox for the Masters and more. And one more on this, Rob. A lot of golf talk today. I mean, you just loved it, right?
Loved it.
We just knocked it out of the park. And then I was looking at this today. So North Dakota State lost a linebacker today to the transfer portal. This is an ongoing thing. So North Dakota State, FCS, lost a starting linebacker to the transfer portal. And it got me thinking, can South Dakota State and USD, is this NIL world worth the time and effort to fundraise, to get donors, to make as much as you can there, or are you still going to lose players anyway?
You're going to lose players, but I think you have to make a conscious effort to at least try, right? If you're not offering them anything, of course they're going to leave. I think a lot of kids who would go to SDSU or NDSU might want to stay close to home, right? Might want to play for that kind of program, and if maybe the money's not equal, but it's close, I think you'll get some of those kids to stay if you're offering them something.
I don't think they can even get close on some of that. I mean, I just saw Texas Tech. That's a different world, but Texas Tech, they offered $4 million to their basketball player, Toppin. $4 million to come back.
But to their own player, right?
Yes.
Okay, but I'm like, my point is, if you're an SDSU player, an NDSU player, if you're the best one there, how much are they really offering those kids to come to? Again, are they really getting?
Well, I'm telling you, like Mark Gronowski from South Dakota State QB to Iowa, I think he might have got $1 million. I don't know that for
But he had to leave anyway, right? Mark's time was up.
He could have
came back. He had more eligibility?
Yeah, he could have won more.
Well, you're never going to beat.
See what I mean?
I mean, but Gronowski is a guy who could theoretically get drafted in the NFL. You're never going to keep a guy like that.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, is it worth the? I mean, I guess you have to get in the game, but you're really not in that game. You're not going to get in that game. It's interesting. The audience says 63% say yes, it's worth the time and effort, pay players more. 37% of you say they're going to transfer anyway. Don't invest. For Rob Kagron, it is Nate Brown. Happy hour in the books on a Thursday. South Dakota Sports Talk Show and the podcast going up right now. See ya.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware.